More drama in the Russia investigation, and it involves former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
A federal judge postponed his sentencing, but only after blasting him in court. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan has the very late details going on tonight. Dave.
Yeah, this was a stunning series of events, really. I don't think anybody saw this coming, to tell you the truth. Tonight, it looks like former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and his attorneys may have overplayed their hand before he was sentenced by the judge after a week of accusing the FBI of tricking him and mistreating him and taking advantage of him. Apparently, the federal judge, Emmet Sullivan, had heard enough, and today he slammed Flynn and warned him he may be facing some jail time, regardless of what the special counsel says. Tonight, Michael Flynn's sentencing is on hold after a dramatic 2-hour verbal spanking from an angry federal judge. Quote, "I cannot assure you if you proceed today, you will not receive a sentence of incarceration." Those stunning words from Judge Emmet Sullivan in a Washington, D.C. courtroom.
Next president of the United States, right here.
Many expected former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn to be set free after telling Judge Sullivan he took full responsibility for lying to the FBI about his contact with former Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. But the judge gave Flynn a tongue lashing. Quote, "I'm not hiding my disgust, my disdain for this criminal offense. All along, you were an unregistered agent of a foreign country while serving as the National Security Advisor," a statement the judge later admitted was incorrect. Flynn was a lobbyist for Turkey when he was a Trump campaign advisor. But Flynn reportedly stopped lobbying for Turkey once he was named National Security Advisor. The judge continued, "Arguably, that undermines everything that this flag over here stands for. Arguably, you sold your country out." Then Judge Sullivan asked this: could he, meaning Flynn, be charged with treason? Prosecutor Brian Van Grack answered, "It's such a serious question, I'm hesitant to answer it." Van Grack later said he had no reason to believe Flynn committed treason and had no concerns over issues related to treason. Judge Sullivan then gave Flynn the option of delaying his sentence after learning the retired general was still coordinating with Mueller's team after 19 meetings for a total of about 60 hours. Flynn took the judge up on his offer.
I think Flynn's lawyers felt that Flynn was going to get jail because the judge felt that this was so serious that notwithstanding substantial cooperation, he was going to get jail. So they're hoping now for this timeout to delay jail.
In fact, it's been a smooth year of cooperation for the most part for Flynn and Special Counsel Mueller until last week when Flynn filed a memo alleging that the FBI misled him in one of his interviews. No lawyer was present, and he claimed he hadn't been warned of the potential legal consequences of not telling the truth. Mueller's team fired back, charging that obviously someone in Flynn's position, a career military commander and national security advisor to President Trump, would know that you can't lie to the FBI, and if you do, you can be charged with the crime. Most high school kids could figure that out. Nonetheless, the Trump administration continues to portray Flynn as a victim of the FBI.
The FBI broke standard protocol in the way that they came in and ambushed General Flynn, and in the way that they questioned him, and in the way that they encouraged him not to have White House counsel's office present.
This even though Flynn had just admitted in court that he knew that lying to the FBI is a crime when he denied having made contacts with the Russians. President Trump tweeted Flynn good luck, despite the fact that Flynn has spent countless hours talking to the Mueller team, and even though Flynn has pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI and worked as an unregistered agent on behalf of another government during his campaign.
It's perfectly acceptable for the president to make a positive comment about somebody while we wait to see what the court's determination is.
However, since Flynn has already pled guilty to lying to the FBI, that ship has already left the dock. Guilty.
Are you arguing that he was entrapped?
Look, we're arguing that he was certainly ambushed.
And later,
we don't have any reason to want to walk that back.
But it's a sharp contrast to President Trump's comments about his former attorney, Michael Cohen, whom he called a rat for cooperating with the special counsel and federal prosecutors.
We know Michael Cohen to be a liar on a number of fronts, and the president's opinion is extremely clear on that front.
So Judge Sullivan is clearly in charge now, and he wants a status report in 90 days. He set a March meeting to revisit Flynn's sentencing, but he warned he's not making any promises that he would view the matter differently in 3 months. So Sharon and
Yeah.
Ron, this is still a work in progress, very much so.
And Dave, Judge Sullivan issued another order today that
did.
bars Flynn from traveling. What's that all about?
Well, it's probably not good news. I mean, at the end of the day, it looks like this is bad news for Flynn. Judge Sullivan ordered that as of January 4th, Flynn will not be allowed to travel more than 50 miles outside of Washington, D.C., unless he gets permission from the court. In addition, Flynn will also have to turn over his passport to the court to make sure he doesn't leave the country. And for a guy who thought he was going to be scot-free by the end of today, that's not good news. That could be interpreted as meaning the judge is seriously considering sentencing Flynn to some real jail time, and he doesn't want him skipping out of town. It may not mean that, but I can assure you it sure puts a chill into Flynn and his defense attorneys tonight, Juan.
It sure makes things interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, thanks.